Looking for a shipping service that's reliable, on time and affordable? Your best solution is ANS Trading Agency Limited. At ANS, we handle all kinds of shipping from door-to-door courier services from London or Europe. We also import left-hand vehicles such as articulators, trucks and all kinds of cars. For your duty issues on 20-50 feet containers, we have you 100% covered. It doesn't matter where you're shipping your vehicles or goods from, either from China, Europe, America or any part of the world. We are the best with duty. Contact us via www.answer24.com or call us on these numbers.
We are the best.
Oh yes, I can. Nesikano wahi sikano ashe. Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf, NAFI, Director General for Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Omo clash 13th African Games na Ghana host year $3 million sikano afahin. And some no you come into details. Masrawa so be share video we na obachira wadwen amame e comment section ho. AfriX mobile money app and America recommend the amount wo UK, Canada, US, any part of the world that will be able to send this be more Ghana. Masrawa so be use the promo code TRANSGH to enjoy the best offers. Madawase so be nsa amame. And some no yanko deep. So March 2024 ye Ghana ye de ni nyina ne say 13th African Games Ghana ye host ye. So Endra Public Account Committee ene ebusia James Aveji Kluche or no chairman any afi na pam for members of that committee no omu chem say omu hia National Sports Authority any afi Minister for Youth and Sports Honorable Mustafa Yusuf omu kopie mo wa say omu kwa answer questions e wanna Sam George obisa Minister for Youth and Sports Mustafa Yusuf said sikasa na ministry no omu tuaye to GBC for 2 weeks coverage no. Now sika Mustafa Yusuf all kan ho no.
You had an arrangement with GBC to cover the All Africa Games, right? Can you share with this committee how much that coverage was for and whether payment has been made for same?
Thank you so much. Yes, GBC was the official broadcaster for the African Games, the 13th African Games, and I can confirm that full payment have made to GBC.
Do you have per chance what the amount was?
I can't recall the exact amount, but I know that it's in the excess of $3 million US dollars.
You paid GBC
yes.
in excess of $3 million US dollars
yes.
for coverage of the All Africa Games.
Yes.
Chairman, I think that I would rest here and maybe the next time GBC appears before us, because most of the technicians who worked on the All Africa Games have still not been paid. And so we wanted to ascertain if you have paid and how much has been paid. Chairman, I'm grateful.
So $3 million once in same way Director General for Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Professor Amin Al-Hassan waba bonta betire mu say. Sports Minister no say oye den o ma GBC sign $3 million. Ebusia papa ne sama wo kan wo. Ne sika na fahin.
Thank you very much for having the opportunity to be here this afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. First, has GBC indeed received the said amount mentioned by the Minister for Youth and Sports?
GBC has only received for its benefit an amount of $105,000 US dollars. But GBC has reported on work done by externally sourced production teams, has reported to the ministry that work has been accomplished and these organizations should be paid, not to GBC's benefit, but to these organizations. That we have done. But GBC as a corporation, the total benefit of GBC was $105,000 US dollars. The statement said in excess of $3 million. No, if GBC did not benefit from any $3 million US dollars payment.
Now we'll get into the details so that we understand really the role GBC played and get a better understanding of what the minister said and then what GBC really benefited from. Now, but where do you think that statement is coming from? The statement that said that we received a $3 million. Where do you think that information came from the minister?
I cannot second guess where it came from. All I can say is this. There were externally sourced production teams. GBC was invited to the table less than 1 month to the games, that they wanted us as the official broadcaster and that we should do the production. And we made it very clear that an event or a series of events such as 2 weeks of sporting fiesta, GBC did not have the technical equipment to do that. So we made it very clear to the ministry from the first meeting that that has to be outsourced. We don't have the equipment. I mean, we don't have the equipment capacity to do it. So the ministry agreed that we should play the role of the official broadcaster, and technical teams were brought in from outside the country. They flew in with their equipment. And as the official broadcaster, we had the responsibility to confirm that work was done and that payment should be effected. And some of these payments were routed through GBC to these third-party payments. Those transfers were not for the benefit of GBC. And we could never have used those monies for GBC's needs. No, it wasn't possible. That would have been criminal. We facilitated payments to foreign third parties who came in to do the production and not for the benefit of GBC. The benefit total payment to GBC's for GBC's benefit, I repeat, was $105,000, and that is what we got.
Now, but does GBC have any evidence to back what you're saying? Because, I mean, the minister is the one in charge. He has made a statement.
Of course.
What evidence do we have?
We definitely have enough documentation. These monies are not paid in bags. They are paid through the bank. And they are indicated what the money is for. And before we do that, there's a letter we will receive from the ministry telling us whose payment it should be for. And so we don't act on our own. We act upon instructions. And that we have all the documentations, and we have everything in place to show that these monies. You see, public funds are not easily disbursed like that. GBC needs $3 million to do a lot of things. And if we got the $3 million, we would have gone ahead to start spending on GBC's needs, including procuring an OB van. We didn't get that money.
So I want to present an saying beside Director General say, na ayenyebiano workers at GBC mofo muni nyinano matua omu nyinaka anase.
Have the technicians been paid?
In my response to the chairman of PAC, copy to Honorable Sam George, and copy to the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, and copy to the Honorable Minister of Information, as well as the National Media Commission, we stated clearly that we paid our staff who were deployed to location 100 Ghana cedis a day for showing up to work. An accountant and an internal auditor were dispatched daily to visit all the sites and pay. And only those who showed up to work took the money. It doesn't, if you were duty scheduled to be at, let's say, Boteman Stadium and Sports Complex, and you did not show up, you could not claim that payment. So as far as I am concerned, all staff who were qualified to receive the payments have been duly paid. And it is not an entitlement you can claim without going on location to work. In fact, it is not even covered by any collective agreement. Management had learned that food was expensive on those locations. So we first decided that we're paying them 50 Ghana cedis each. And we were told food was expensive. So we increased it to 100 cedis. And these monies were paid on location. Now, when something is paid on location, you can't come back to BH and say you were there, you want the payment. You cannot be paid. That is why, for accountability's sake, we make sure that on every trip of the finance personnel, an internal auditor accompanied him. So we paid all technicians who were deployed to work. Nobody has been left out, unless you choose not to visit the site or you choose not to take the payment. That is your choice.
So in summary, GBC does not owe any technician. The monies received from the ministry, as stated by the minister, did not come to GBC for spending.
Absolutely right. We did not receive these monies for the benefit of GBC. The only money we received for the benefit of GBC was $105,000. All other payments were paid to technical service providers who were duly paid or yet to be paid, whatever. But GBC's payment in total was $105,000, and we received our money. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, DG.
It's been a pleasure to be here to clarify these things about this. Thank you very much.
Into Sikano $3 million no eno because Director General for GBC Wababo Ntambe say $105,000 per no Mosakaye. So 3 days ago, NPP omo launch omo manifesto for 2024 elections. So on that day, Prince David Osei say NPP government omo baye no Washer Sports Stadium.
The Akufo government has invested heavily in the renovation of sports stadiums across the country, including the Accra Sports Stadium, Baba Yara Sports Stadium, the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. In addition to this, the government has built sports stadiums in 10 regional capitals of our country. 6 of these stadiums, namely, were in the Upper West, Dunkwa in the Office Central, Axim in Western, Domahinkro in Bono, Ho in the Volta, and Koforidia in the Eastern region. They are all ready, with the Koforidia Sports Stadium having been commissioned by His Excellency, the President of Ghana, Nana Addo Akufo. The remaining 4 are expected to be completed this year. I think a round of applause will do. Thank you.
So, Endra Public Account Committee one Mustafa Yusuf, Sports Minister, Okasem Nebusian, James Aveji Kuluche, Chairman Nankasa for committee no. Obisa Sports Minister say, Papa, Asamana Prince David Osei kan ye no, chiremu ye because records are meme word so. Yansha ne yakoso.
Honorable Minister, yesterday at your manifesto launch, you claim to have built 10 stadiums in Ghana from 2017. Can you give me the location of those stadiums? Not the Youth Resource Center. Oh, okay, give me the center, the Youth Resource Center that you are calling stadium. Give me the locations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one in Wa. Okay. We have one in Navrongo. We have one in Yendi. We have Yendi. Okay. We have one in Ehinehini. We have Ehinehini. There is an issue in Ehinehini here. We will respond to you right now. Then we have one in Azim. We have one in Dunkwa Ofin. We have one in Adaklu. And we have one in Domahinkro. And we have one in Azuma Nesen. And we have one in Kofodia, Kanation, Azuma Nesen. We have one in Kofodia. Kofodia one has been commissioned and is currently being used. Mr. Chair, you have one in what? Kofodia. That's 10. No. One, Akacha Wa, Navrongo, Yendi, and Yinahin, Azim, Dunkwanofin, Adaklu, Domahinkro, Kofodia. Yes. That's mine. And Kaneshi, okay. All right. You see, Honorable Minister, you see the Yinahin one? I don't feel it. Chairman, and I appreciate the challenges that we are currently facing challenges with the funding, because the National Youth Authority was the institution funding these stadiums that we are building. But when our colleague took the Common Fund disbursement to the Supreme Court, and the Common Fund was directed that we are not eligible per the laws that we have passed here to get 5% of the allocation of the Common Fund to the National Youth Authority, which was the source of the funding for this facility. We had started having issues for the past 3 years. So we decided that the little that we are getting from the Common Fund, because she has to use her discretion instead of what you approved, the Parliament approved, directed because of the Supreme Court ruling, the little that we are getting is that we are now making sure that we finish them in phases, because the money that originally the budget that we had cannot continue to use work on all the 10. So the first phase of all the 10 are done, and the second phase we have staggered them. 5 of them are going to be completed and commissioned, and then the rest of the 5 will complete them by next year. So by Honorable Minister, it means that you have completed 5 out of the 10. of the youth resource centers. Mr. Chairman, the other 5 are going to be completed later. Is that the case?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So what your party said yesterday, that you have built 10 stadium, is false.
It's not. Because it's not.
You have just admitted that you completed 5.
We have completed 5, but the rest of the, as we speak, the rest of the 5, we are going to make sure that we complete them. Because
so you are working on that. So you can't say you have completed 10.
The phase 1
Ghanaians are watching and listening to you.
Yes, the phase 1 have all been completed.
You have built 5 resource centers. 5 yet to be completed. You have not built 10 stadium. So what you said was a palpable lie.
We didn't say we have completed. We said we have built. If you go to Addo now, the structures is there. If you go to Kofodia, the structures are there. If you go to Azim, the structures are there. If you go to Azim, the structures are there.
Okay. Let's move on. We are now going to. Have they completed Navrongo?
Mr. Chairman, you remember I asked this question in Parliament. I even pleaded through the Speaker for you to complete the Navrongo Sports Stadium. This sports stadium was built by the Achampong so many years ago. You have come to only do the field. And you know there was that dispute, the issue between the 2 contractors, which I'm not sure it has been resolved. So if you say you have gone, but the place is locked, it's locked.
Chairman, we've resolved the issue between the contractors, but the challenges that I've just stated has to do with the disbursement, the releases from common fund. That's why we have not gone back to site. But I can assure the honourable member of Parliament from Navrongo, which is our backyard, that will complete it.
Sesia there $3 million no eno na yehwehwe sesia sika no afa hemfa because GBC Director General Ababonta bechirim say $105,000 per no monsaka ye. As